like, subscribe, click the notification bell, upvote, and comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, come over to BitTube, library.tv, and also on odyssey.com. Join my official Telegram announcements channel, and please do follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT.
You say you have nothing to hide. But online privacy is not about hiding. It's about protecting. The things you buy, the searches you make, the articles you read, the websites you visit. It's your digital identity. It's you. Your data is valuable on the internet. It can be collected, analyzed, sold, or stolen. Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. I have with me Peter Girr. Peter is the founder of Wise Token. They are in pre-sale right now on the Binance Smartchain. We're going to find out all about Wise Token. What makes it so wise? Is it something smart to get into? Now, before I introduce him, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT, and all that kind of business. Hey, Peter, thank you so much for making yourself available.
Thank you so much for having me. It's good to meet you.
Yes, thank you. You and I, we met 5 minutes ago because this is how life is on the blockchain.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
Always making new friends.
That's right. I know next to nothing about Wise Token. The first thing I want to ask you, if you can just say in a few pithy sentences, not too long, what is so special about Wise Token? And then we'll dig into it some more.
Sure. What's special about Wise Token is, first of all, that it's asset-backed. The only other asset-backed cryptocurrencies you're going to find are stable tokens, but Wise isn't a stable token. However, it is backed by assets. Secondly, it's a completely fair launch. So there was no tokens that went to me for free or ridiculous pre-sales where you see investors going in at 10x below where it's going to be listed. And then can later manipulate the price because they have massive bags. So the ethos for Wise is fairly launched, completely safe, made up of entirely decentralized smart contracts with no admin keys, and the fact that it's asset backed.
Okay, we shall dig into that. I'm curious about that. There's stable coins. I think there's also Pax Gold as well, which is backed by audited gold and tracks the gold price.
Sure, but that requires a third party and trusting that third party is fine as well, which is all good and well. But what I'm talking about is completely decentralized in cryptocurrencies. So Wise on Ethereum is backed by a pool of Ether on Uniswap, which doesn't require any auditors, third parties, or anybody else. It's all just in a closed loop system on blockchain. And I think that's fundamentally better than having physical assets that you've got to have some type of a third party verify for you.
So it's trustless asset back. Very good. Okay, well, we'll get into that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into crypto and how, just your background, how you got into setting up Wise Token?
Sure. I'm a U.S. Army intelligence officer, and after I got back from a deployment to Afghanistan, I was looking for something to do. I was doing real estate arbitrage and then just looking at ways to make passive income. And I discovered some videos on blockchain and cryptocurrency. And so I was amazed by blockchain technology, but unfortunately, the very first crypto that I invested in turned out to be a passive profit platform that was a massive scam. And so I got burned really hard. But I realized that the reason I got burned was not because blockchain is bad, but because I trusted a platform with my money. And so I basically spent the next 5 years developing a project that was safe, asset-backed, and completely trustless, because that's what I wanted to invest in. So I got burned, and then I decided to spend the next few years building what I really wanted to invest in, because I didn't see it in the space.
Okay, so Wise Token's in pre-sale, and it's 5 years it's taken to get here. 5 years of work.
Sure. So not 5 years of writing code. We've only been writing code for 1 year. However, you see, this idea of being backed by assets, we didn't have the technology 5 years ago to be able to do it. Because the way we do it, and by the way, so we successfully launched on Ethereum 4 months ago. You can go check us out on Uniswap. We're in the top 10 pairs. We have $300 million of locked liquidity on Uniswap between Wise and ETH. We raised $150 million in our pre-sale, and the $150 million went onto Uniswap in that locked liquidity pair. So we had a successful launch there. Fortunately, gas fees on Ethereum are super high right now. That is why we were also launching on Binance Smartchain, creating another massive liquidity pool. So this version of Wise is now going to be backed by BNB rather than Ether. So I just wanted to clarify that. But the technology wasn't there, because in order to make this trustless asset-backed loop, the way we did it is during the pre-sale, we sell 50% of the supply, and then we get the Ether or whatever is going to be backing up that version of Wise. Then we pair that with the other 50% of supply, put it onto Uniswap, and then the LP tokens that we get back from Uniswap, that's like the keys where you could remove it, those get sent to a burn address. So that locks up all the money into the pair with the other 50% of the tokens, which means that now, 150 million goes in to buy Wise. Now there's $150 million of assets backing up Wise on Uniswap that can't be removed. And so it can be traded, of course. So if people sell it, sure, the price can still go down, but only to a certain amount, because even if all the Wise were sold, there would still be 28,000 Ether left in our pair. It'd still be $100 million pair. So because the money is locked up in that way, that guarantees a certain amount of assets back for every Wise token. So it's resistant to price going down, and yet it's just like any other crypto. If you buy it on Uniswap, it goes up. And then the interesting part about it is, because all the money is used to create this massive liquidity pool, when the price of that asset goes up, we automatically go up. So on Ethereum's pumping right now. So Wise is pumping right now too, because our pool is half Ether. And so it's the same thing. It's going to be the same thing on BNB when we launch on PancakeSwap. As the price of BNB goes up, because we have such a massive pool of BNB backing up the Wise tokens on the Binance Smart Chain, when BNB price goes up, so does ours. So I like describing it like Wise on a Binance Smart Chain is BNB with some extra wiggle room. So the extra wiggle room comes from Uniswap. If there's sells, then it'll go down a little bit. If there's buys, it'll go up. But you still get the gains from the BNB as well. So it's a safer asset than others that aren't backed by anything. That sometimes you can see the price drop 90% after listing because there's just nothing backing it. And that's because the money that got sent in didn't go to backing the token. It went to pay the founders or to pay the team or something else. In Wise, 100% of the money raised goes into the liquidity pool. And that's like a lot of safety for somebody who's purchasing in, because they know their money isn't going to the project's team. It's going into the market. It's getting locked into the market, and it waits for them when they are ready to cash out.
Right. Okay. And isn't there a danger that you're diluting the supply of Wise token, because it's already on Uniswap, and now you're going to create some more Wise token on the?
So this was always the plan. So we want a Wise version on every major blockchain. So you can view it as diluting, but not really, because it's a different token and it's backed by a different asset, and it can have some overlap, but it's going to be a different community as well. There's a lot of people on Ethereum that are like, Ethereum is the most decentralized blockchain ever. I don't want to deal with Binance Smart Chain. Like, I'll use Polygon or another layer 2. So there's some overlap in the community, but not a lot. And really, it's just by launching on Binance Smart Chain, first of all, we have an option for people to be able to use the system without paying $150 to try to start a stake like you do on Ethereum right now. So it's just an option for people, and it exposes us to thousands of new people that have never heard about Wise before. So after we are launched on all the major blockchains, the plan is to create an index fund, because we can create a token that is a piece of Wise on every major blockchain, and it'll be like owning a piece of every single major blockchain. So that's the plan there. And also, our marketing efforts go for all the different tokens. Like right now, we just have Ethereum, and we're launching on Binance Smart Chain. But as we grow bigger, it's a group effort. So no one's getting left behind. And what we're actually seeing right now is that there's actually an increased interest in Ethereum, as well as a lot of people purchasing in the pre-sale on Binance Smart Chain too.
Okay. All right. Now you've already got the ones on Binance Smart Chain backed by Binance.
Well,
Yes,
they will be.
they
It's
will
in
be.
so,
But
so, so it's a contract. Once the pre-sale ends, the contract pairs the BNB, creates the liquidity on PancakeSwap, and it's good to go. But until this pre-sale ends, it's just interaction with a contract.
right. And then if people want to participate in the pre-sale, how would they'd go to the website? How would they do that?
Yeah. So it's wisetoken.net and then /BSC for Binance Smart Chain. And then you just connect your MetaMask wallet to make sure it's configured for Binance Smart Chain. And then you can just invest BNB, and that's how you purchase it initially. And then once you purchase, you'll be able to claim the BNB as soon as the contract ends and creates that liquidity on PancakeSwap. And then from there, all future investors will just purchase on PancakeSwap.
Okay. And then what's the advantage of taking part in the pre-sale?
Well, first of all, you get WISE at the base price. So, for instance, on Ethereum, the pre-sale started off at like 4 cents of ETH, and we listed at 16 cents of ETH. That was the average price paid during the pre-sale, and we had an all-time high of 97 cents, and we are at 60 cents right now. So the advantage is that you get in at the base price first of all. But also creating a bigger liquidity pool creates more, fees and profits that are going back to the users as well. So having a bigger liquidity pool creates more profits, and in the Y system, all the profits go back to the users. So we are, the more liquidity we have, the more we have available to reward stakers and just be able to do airdrops and really interesting things to reward the community with. Now I haven't told you about the rest of the ecosystem though. We've just been talking about the token.
Yeah.
So the token is awesome. Like having asset-backed token is really awesome. But Wise is more than just like a clever asset-backed asset. It's actually an ecosystem. So we're building a lending and borrowing contract, fully decentralized as well, that we are launching in Q3 of this year. And it's like you can imagine like Aave, except some innovations and improvements, because it's completely decentralized and it is sensitive to supply and demand rather than being manually updated. At Aave, some guys got to update what is the APY for today, and they figure that out. So you'll be able to borrow, you'll be able to lend. We've innovated a couple new products too, like leverage lending. So for instance, if you got like 1 BNB, you can lend it to the contract and earn interest off that, or you can lend 3, even though you only have 1, and now you have a leverage position, but it's also earning APY. So that's leverage lending. It's basically like a long that earns interest while you hold it as well.
Okay, now leverage lending. I'm going to lend out 3 BNB that I don't have. I might as well be Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan or something, because it sounds a little bit like naked shorting, or I'm just creating derivatives. How does that work?
Well, so you have the 1 BNB and you want to lend out 3 BNB. And so it's just the same mechanics as longing an asset. So you go to any major exchange and you'll be able to create a leveraged long position. And the way it works is you have the 1 BNB and you get the 3 BNB, and the contract lends it to you from their funds. They have a reserve pool of funds. And then if the price goes up, you're good and you're golden. And in our system, not only do you get the market gains, but you're earning an APY on that as well, because that is being lent out to other people. But if it goes down, since it's a leveraged position, you're in danger of being liquidated. So if you make a decision and you accidentally buy the top of the charts and then it starts going down, then you get an increased chance of being liquidated. If the price goes down enough, then somebody is going to liquidate you, and then you lose your 1 BNB. So that's just naturally how liquidations work. And you don't have to do leverage positions. It's just an option that some people like to do because if you're an experienced trader or somebody that does well with understanding how the markets work, there's a lot of interesting things that can be done. Because if you're, especially with Wise, for instance, because since we have a price floor, you can look at those analytics, be like, okay, we're 20% away from the price floor, so my risk tolerance is only this much compared to another asset. I can borrow a stable coin and then invest it in something that is looking like it's going to go up over time. There's just so many things that you can do, but that's not like leverage lending is cool, and it's an innovation. And having borrowing and lending is all industry standard stuff. Like Compound does this, Aave does this, but what really sets us apart is the fact that 100% of our profits go to our users. So the liquidation fees on exchanges and like on Aave, the fees made from lending and borrowing, those a portion of it goes back to the community, but most of it is just straight up profits for the organization. Like they got a CEO and employees and stuff and seed investors. But for me, I created Wise out of my own, like the funds out of my own pocket. So that gave me the leeway to be able to do some interesting things, like give 100% of the profits back to the community. So in Wise, we have a reserve pool for the lending contracts, and that is held in Wise tokens. Whenever something is in demand, Wise from the reserve pool gets converted into that asset to be lent out temporarily for those positions. It's open to the community. Anybody can lend Wise to that pool. And when you lend Wise to that pool, you are now owning a profit share for the whole Wise ecosystem, because the profits that are made by the system go back to the people that are lending Wise to the pool. So if you own 10% of the pool, you're making 10% of the profits of the entire ecosystem. And so that's pretty interesting, because lending and borrowing is a very in-demand thing in decentralized finance. Just in the past year and a half, we went from less than 2 billion total value locked in all of DeFi to over 100 billion total value locked. Like Aave has 10 billion total value locked on their platform. MakerDAO has a lot more. So there's a huge demand for lending and borrowing. Like I'm not really concerned or thinking that I'm going to have a hard time trying to find people who want to lend and borrow from the contract. And then as the total value locked goes up, it naturally generates more profits, which are going back to the ecosystem, which creates a demand for Wise token to be lent to the reserve pool. So that's our model, and we have a significantly. I wanted to talk about the token first, because most.
Peter, one second. So the profits are paid out to the token holders, and they're paid out in the form of Wise tokens?
No, BNB on Binance Smartchain and Ether on Ethereum, and you can choose whichever one. Like you can choose to be paid out in USDC or Wise tokens, just like how Celsius has, like, if you choose to be paid in Celsius, then you get a little bit of an incentive. So you can choose whichever option you want to do. And this is launching Q3 of this year. So, but I wanted to talk about the token so much at first, because you'll find other systems that do lending and borrowing, but most of the times their token is just a governance token. It's not backed by anything. It doesn't have its own safety mechanisms built in, and ours really does. So it's a lending and borrowing system that allows you to earn a high APY for the token itself. You can lend Wise to own like a share of the profits for the entire company, and then your tokens themselves are provably backed by a massive pool of assets, rather than just being a governance token.
Okay, very cool. All right, very, very interesting. I like the passive income. I like the idea of earning BNB just for sitting around doing nothing. That's very nice. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got lending, so you got liquidity pools, you got lending and borrowing, you got leverage lending. What else is there in the ecosystem?
Thanks for asking, because one of the most exciting things is our partnerships with DEXs. So since Uniswap was made, there's tons of clones. PancakeSwap is a clone of Uniswap, and everybody has their Uniswap clone on their native blockchain, and they want to entice people to bring liquidity there, because that's how they become successful and make money. So what's happening right now is DEXs are rewarding communities to bring their liquidity over to their exchange and provide liquidity. So right now on Ethereum, we have partnerships with QuickSwap, which is layer 2 Ethereum on Polygon. And currently the Wise Ethereum pool is being rewarded at 140% APY in Quick tokens. And that's on top of the fees, the trading fees that you just naturally make from being a liquidity provider. And the interesting thing about that is Wise is backed by Ether. So they move together. And the biggest risk of being a liquidity provider is a permanent loss from the assets not moving together or one going down. So if you believe in Ethereum long term, Wise and Ethereum move together in price, which completely mitigates the fear of impermanent loss to zero versus Ethereum. So we're talking like there's no other place in the entire ecosystem where you can earn 140% APY on your Ether safely. But you can in our system if you understand how it works. It's going to be the same thing on BNB too. So we've already lined up partnerships with the Value DeFi project, which would start on Ethereum, and they expanded to Binance Smartchain. They are going now. The Value DeFi project is all about the balancer type pools. Where it's not 50 one thing, 50 another thing. They can do 70-30. So they're going to create a pool for us that's 70% Wise on Binance Smart Chain, 70% 30% BNB, and then reward that at a rate of $50,000 a day in their own native tokens, which will be great APY for $20 million worth of Wise. And besides Value DeFi, we have the Zero Exchange project, which is now on BSC, similar type of a deal. And of course, we're going to get a surrogate pool on PancakeSwap as well. So besides just staking with a contract to earn interest, we've got all these other interesting things where you can earn a high APY and be safe from impermanent loss. And that has created a ton of excitement with our community. So even though we don't even have our lending contract done yet, there's a lot of excitement just from the fact that you got a safe asset that is earning a high rate of APY that's immune from impermanent loss.
That's incredible. That's incredible. 140% APY.
Yeah, and of course that's variable. So like 2 weeks ago it was 50%, but the QuickSwap token just went from $140 to $1,700 in the past week. So it's variable, but it's always been well above 50%. It's been like 100% APY, and now that the Quick token has gone up in price, they're still giving us the same amount of tokens. So it's pretty exciting to be part of that.
Okay, all right, very good. There's no team fund or anything like that. So how are you? Who are the people behind this, apart from yourself? How are you funding all this? What are your plans for the future?
Yeah, so besides myself, like I said, I'm a military intelligence analyst, and I am also a real estate entrepreneur. That's what I was doing before I discovered crypto. My CTO is a guy who left a job at Numerator which is a big tech company. He was in Chicago. He was a lead developer there, and he left to come work on Wise. We have an expert Solidity developer as well, who's in Thailand. So we're all over the globe. We got Los Angeles here, Chicago, Thailand. We have 2 German mathematicians who are really important, since everything in Wise was built from the ground up. We really needed to get the math right on like how the stuff was built. So we got 2 mathematicians that are in Germany that have joined the team and have been really helpful in the design and tokenomics of what's going on. And then we've got a community manager as well, and then a bunch of volunteers from the community who help us with marketing. So I funded Wise out of my own pocket because I wanted to have, I was building the investment that I wanted. And of course, the perfect investment doesn't have any profits going to the creators. It has the profits going to the users. So I was a big investor myself alongside everybody else in Wise tokens. The idea for Wise is to build the perfect DeFi banking ecosystem, and where it's 100% efficient and make money off the success of the system itself, not off the creation of the system. I do think that we're still early in DeFi, and the whole model of paying yourself up front for the creation of the system is not going to last that long because it's inefficient, and that money should have been used to make the project successful, not to make you rich for coming up with a quirky idea. So I think as more developers come into the space, that they'll be outbidding each other to make it fairer and fairer, because that's just a better deal for the users. So we just went, went right to the front of the line, and we're like, hey, no profits going to us at all. We're not going to take any money from this. 100% of that BNB that comes in is getting locked up in the liquidity, and all ongoing profits go back to its users. And so we think that'll give us a competitive advantage. I'm perfectly happy I obviously believe in Wise, or I wouldn't be doing this. But I am very happy with my success coming from my personal investment in the token itself, just like everybody else. I honestly think that's the way DeFi is supposed to be.
Right, right. No, that's very good because you've got skin in the game and you've got a real vested interest in making sure that it is successful versus just having, like what happened in 2017, ETH and Bitcoin just thrown at your feet.
Yep, absolutely.
Those were the easy days, I suppose. Okay. And then what else is coming up with regards to Wise Token? What do you have down the pipeline?
Yeah, we're doing it. So we got this launch on Binance Smartchain. It's really important because the more liquidity we raise, the more profits are generated from then on. And after it goes on PancakeSwap and people buy, that doesn't generate profits for the system. So this pre-sale where we're forming this initial liquidity, it's really important to raise as much as possible. The advantages to the investor are, once again, you get it at the base price. We also have a bunch of different modes. We're giving away $500,000 in BNB for people. You can see like there's different modes to compete in. You can get like 1% cash back instantly in BNB. You could compete for bigger prizes. There's a grand prize of $100,000 of BNB that's going to go to somebody. And so we're trying to create as much excitement as possible, because the larger amount of money we raise means the more profits are being raised, means the more money is going back to the users, means higher demand for Wise. So that's really important for us. In the future, next few months, we have a listing on Changely and Changely Pro plus fiat onboarding. So you can go directly from your bank or credit card into Wise. We got some bigger exchange listings coming. Not that we need them, because we got so much liquidity on decentralized exchanges. And then of course we have our lending contract coming in Q3. And before the lending contract comes, I mentioned all those partnerships with DEXs that we already have lined up for liquidity provider rewards. So we got a really packed roadmap this year, and it's looking like it's pretty fun.
That's incredible. It's incredible. DeFi baffles me completely baffles me. But then I suppose I don't know, maybe some aspects of child protection and child development might baffle you. I don't know, right? I get it. Okay. Anything?
I just had my first child. I got a 1-month-old little baby girl.
Oh,
so I'm a dad now, finally.
She's still a tadpole. Take another 3 months and then they kind of become human. That's fabulous. Okay. Anything else you want to let us know that we haven't covered that you think is important for people to know?
I think we covered everything really well. What I want the community to know is that there are good DeFi projects out there. There's so many rug pulls, there's so many scams, and but there are gems out there. And so we're trying to educate the community. We have a really amazing core group of people that believe the same way we do, and are trying to educate people, because DeFi is just fundamentally better than having your money in a centralized bank. There's just better opportunities to safely earn, and it's completely decentralized and no fees. So we're trying to spread the word to people, and we would love for you and anybody else to join the community. It's really helpful. Really good community that we have built as well. So, by the way, our socials. So our Telegram is where our main community is. It's Wise Token. So just at Wise Token. On Twitter, we are Wise_token. And then on YouTube, I run the Wise Staking YouTube channel. So we're Wise Staking on YouTube. And then of course our website is wisetoken.net/BSC for this presale.
Great. And I will have all the links in the description below. Now, there's something I want to ask you just before we finish up, right? Which is, how secure is the smart contract if I'm going to lock some of my coins or tokens in there in order to lend them out?
Oh, yeah, good question. So first of all, we got an audit by CoinFabric, which has a stellar track record for auditing smart contracts. They've done over 80 smart contracts in DeFi. We didn't leave it there. We did our own internal testing for 2 months, and then we held a bug bounty with a $50,000 reward for finding bugs, opened it up to the community, and then let it go. So we had 3 layers of protection checking, including a formal audit. And then on top of that, as far as the contract itself, it's 100% decentralized. So no God mode keys, no admin keys. Your money is going to go into the contract, and then it's going to pay out your Wise tokens, and then the BNB is going straight onto PancakeSwap without stopping anywhere. So it's as safe as can be. It's as safe as Uniswap.
Fabulous, fabulous. Okay, all right. Now I'll have all the links in the description below. Peter, I really, really appreciate how thorough it is, and I would echo what you say. I think with human beings, bad news is really, really sticky. People remember bad news, but the projects that are good, that have endured, that have stayed, that have integrity and a great ethos, well, they're just not so controversial. They're not as sticky, but they are around. So I invite people to check this one out. You got to do your own due diligence. Go join the Telegram group. Go check out the website. And if this is something that might interest you, the prospects of earning passive income payable in ETH or in BNB, then I do invite you to take a look. And thank you very, very much, Peter. Any comments or questions, put them in the description below. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto Peter signing out. All the best. Bye-bye. Take a look at this. Apollo, the most secure, simple, and easy to use crypto wallet. If you order now, you get 47% off. Use my affiliate link in the description below. They are doing a fundraiser on Kickstarter, and they were fully funded in 19 minutes. It uses the world's highest security certified chip, 100% offline, all the major cryptocurrencies, and over 200,000 tokens. Link in the description below.